Hey Sagittarius, this is wishkotheferret. Thanks for hopping into the ferret den where we're keeping things warm and we're keeping things cozy. Today we have a reading for you for, I think it says April 17th to the 23rd of 2023. So before we get into it, I do want to say that if this resonates with you, go ahead, like and subscribe and all that good stuff so you don't miss updates from me, you don't miss content. I am launching a Patreon here very shortly, so stay tuned for that. Another thing, you have a new moon in Aries coming up on the 20th, and it coincides with a solar eclipse. So definitely, it's the second new moon in Aries of the year, but with the solar eclipse, you really gotta go to your favorite astrologer if you're into that, if you want to capitalize on those energies, if you want to figure out how those energies interact with your signs. Go ahead and check out the general energies and the forecasts for that after this reading, and we'll hop right on into it. So thank you, angels. Thank you, Spirit, for helping me channel for our Sagittarius collective. Sagittarius, just drop into your heart space while I say this prayer. Let the dust spiritually, physically, emotionally settle around and within you so that you can determine which messages are for you and which messages are for others. The truth for you, Sagittarius, I just said the truth and the Ace of Swords popped up, which is like truth. It's the Ace of Swords is like a sudden realization or truth. I'm getting the image for whatever reason of like every cell in your body vibrating with truth. Like you will feel it throughout your whole body if it's truth for you. The truth comes through, the truth slices through strong. And that's how you can tell. If you're feeling impartial about anything, then that is not your truth. But your truth will be something in this message that you feel strongly with your whole being, with your whole self. That being said, so definitely, I mean, again, if this is not for you, go ahead and bounce out of the reading completely. No iffy energies there. Like, I'll send you with love. There will probably be another reader out there that is for you, or maybe this message for this week from me just isn't for you, and maybe a future one will be. So, that being said, thank you, Archangel Michael, for casting your light of protection around me at this time. Thank you, Spirit team and my angel guides, for connecting me with Sagittarius sun, moon, rising, or anyone who happens to be coming across this message and is in need of one right now. Thanks for connecting me to the week of the 17th to the 23rd. The highest truth that will uplift and empower our Sagittarius collective. What do we got? I just heard, I'm all out of love, I'm so lost without you. Usually those songs come up in like a very comical commercial or something that I think I watched many moons ago. Interestingly enough, we have the Seven of Swords here and the Knight of Cups. So I feel like some of you could feel kind of an aching or a longing for love, like you're looking for it. Maybe you felt that it's something that you should have, but that you don't have. For those of you who do have love, I don't know. I just feel like regardless of what your relationship status is, it just feels like you were robbed in love. Somewhere, at some point, you were robbed in love and you are searching for more. And people notice you. People notice you. I mean, like, there's heartbreak here with the Three of Swords. Hey, you cannot have... Okay, you can't see him. Can you see him right now? See... I have the Seven of Swords here, and Oliver is literally stealing my pen. See, now he dropped it. But he had my pen in his mouth, and he just tried to snatch it. And I love this little boy, but seriously, like, go get your own pen. Yeah, it's a dusty pen, because I haven't used it yet. He's acting like that wasn't gonna... That's what I feel like it's gonna be. I mean, I love my baby. I obviously don't want him to choke on anything, but it feels like, I mean, whoever has wronged you will kind of get their karma. They will kind of get their, the word respite is coming to mind, but for whatever reason, I'm not quite understanding what respite means. I think a respite is like on it, like a rest or something, but it feels like they will get what is due to them in time. But it's almost like sending them away with love, or it's some type of painful thing. With the Three of Swords, it is something that caused you pain, caused you grief, and there's something this week, I don't know, I mean, some of you could have been in happy relationships, but I feel like some of you are kind of revisiting these times of feeling like, you know, lost, like you want love. Some of you could be trying too hard with the Five of Pentacles here and with the Ten of Wands. It feels like some of you could be really trying hard to get it. Maybe you felt pretty lost or left out in the cold, and maybe you put in too much energy to people who weren't giving you the same energy back. Like, you are putting forth all of this energy and somebody was just taking from you. That's really awful, and I'm sorry. It feels like, almost like, I feel like someone's inside the church and just locking you out. So it's almost like they'll take your resources, you'll leave things or offerings for them at the door, and then they'll open up the door to take things, and then they'll close it and lock the door again and not let you in for warmth. So just somebody who's taking things, even though you seem to need shelter too. Or you're like vulnerable, and you were vulnerable with this person. And things like this, for whatever reason, and I just heard take this with a grain of salt. I'm not really sure why. This could be something, it might be, for some of you, this is like a huge thing that's like floating around in your mind this week. And for some of you, it's like a small little idea floating. There's just something, it's hinting here at perhaps you saw something that reminded you of an ex, or you saw something that reminded you if you're somebody who had kind of a rough past in love, you saw something that could have reminded you of some of the mistakes you've made, or some of the people that you've let into your life, and it's almost kind of draining your energy a little bit, or spending a lot of time in it. The Four of Swords here that popped up indicates that there's some need for guidance, there's some need for calm, that your internal compass will ignite once you lay yourself to rest, not death, but I mean, like, they're using that to me as a symbol of, like, lay flat, like lay in or sit up in meditation, or whatever you do for meditation. And it's almost like be still and be calm and breathe with it, and kind of breathe through that pain, acknowledge that it's there. And that's kind of like, I feel like for you, that's like, I just heard, for me, that's my work. So for some of you, doing that work, that shadow work, could be very helpful for you. And that's so interesting, because I had these two cards in my lap, and I wasn't even looking at them until I was about to shuffle these back into the deck. But these two are sitting here, and it's Ace of Cups and Queen of Swords. And I think that this is actually the reality that you're not seeing right now, which, explains why it was just kind of sitting here in my lap without me noticing. But I feel like this is what it's apparent now, I guess. But when you're looking at it, the Queen of Swords is somebody who rules her kingdom with a strong mind. So you're someone that's developed a strong mind over time. You're good with your words. It feels like somebody who is I just heard striking beauty. So you could actually be somebody who, to like the general eye, is very beautiful. Spirit will see you as beautiful no matter what. But it feels like you are an extra beautiful soul, both inside and out. And some of you could be like either like conventionally attractive, or like maybe you've had comments or something about something being attractive about you. But there's something here about striking beauty is what they just said. And there is like a quick-witted or intelligent. Some of you, I'm not really getting like a witty vibe. I'm getting like an older, classy, I don't know. I'm just getting like a classy vibe from you, Sagittarius. Like, I feel like you're well-learned. I feel like there's something here. I'm just seeing somebody with, this is my symbol. It's my symbol of, it's like somebody with long, flowy brown hair who's, I wouldn't say like a nerdy bookworm who hangs out at coffee shops, but like somebody who is well-read, illiterate, or like not like somebody who is well-read, someone who is, literate. And I mean, like, a lot of the world, like, this is totally like counting privilege here, but it just feels like somebody who has a lot of wisdom. I don't know. I feel like somebody who has an education. I'm not sure why this is coming through, but for some of you, this could be you. And I know, like, again, don't get me wrong. This is like the symbol. This is like, and again, I really just feel like this is for people who either like to read, or they've come into, maybe not this particular message, but some of you could resonate with that. And that being said, like, perhaps philosophy or books or learning is something that's very important to you. So even if you don't feel beautiful, even if you don't look like that, even if you don't feel literate, or even if you're Even if you don't feel like, because we can learn in other ways. Like, it's not like, oh, I have an education and I can read and write and all this other stuff. You could be watching this and just have no idea how to write. And that's fine too. Like, I want to acknowledge my privilege and stand in like that box of where I'm at and understand that there are some realities that I can't see. And I've also lived in some other realities that aren't very apparent on this, like in my current reality now. But I understand where that can be a blockage for some people, but I'm also getting the feeling that you are somebody who has a love for learning. And that seems to be like, that spirit just said, stake your claim, like right there. It's almost like that's kind of where they want me to put the stake in this reading, is that somebody who loves to learn, somebody who loves books, someone who loves to learn. You don't even have to love books. Somebody who loves to learn, somebody who you can learn in other ways other than books. You can go out and experience, and you have guides, you have teachers, you have mentors, you have everybody basically in the village helping you out. Like, you have other people teaching you, and it's like you have a plethora of resources, or you're very resourceful. And I guess the reason why I'm going off forever about this Queen of Swords is because I feel like these are things that you don't appreciate about yourself. I'm getting the word accomplished. Like, you're either somebody who has accomplished or somebody who will accomplish because of this inquisitive nature, because of this curious and wanting to learn nature. You're somebody who, I feel like Sagittarius, and this is a very Sagittarius thing. Sagittarius suns, I mean, like, I am a Sag sun, personally. And even if you're like a Sag rising or moon, I feel like if you have Sag in your big 3, then it's still going to, it's almost like I'm hearing somebody who's mesmerized by the title. Like, mesmerized maybe by the title of a book, and maybe that's how you choose what to read. Or like, there's something here about being mesmerized by the title. I don't feel like it's like an affluence thing. It could be specifically for those of you who are bookworms, who like to study. But anyway, point being, there's something here that fulfills you and that fills up your cup with the Ace of Cups. I think your 2 other fellow signs got the Ace of Cups too. Your fellow fire signs. The Leo and Aries, I think, got the Ace of Cups somewhere in the reading too. But there's something here that fills up your cup. There's something Spirit is here acknowledging, that there is so much beauty and abundance in this skill, in this ability that you have. It's in this feeling of overflowing abundance, in this feeling of, I don't know, just being safe in your intellect. Like, there might be a reason, for example, and I'm not, I feel like a weird pull. This is not related to the love issues from before. This feels like a separate message, but it's almost like what needs to be focused on now is, like, yes, it needs to be worked through, all of those icky things popping up from the past, but I feel like this is something that I'm like, hang on, I don't want to lose this channel too much because I just put them back in the deck and now it's like leaving my body right now. It's like the message is leaving my body, so I should just leave out the cards next time. We live and we learn every day. There's just something about that Queen of Swords energy that's just really striking. Like, that needs to be your focus. Your focus needs to be on loving yourself and feeding your knowledge, feeding your passion for learning that's filling you up, because you are constantly, like, these relationships did not work out, or these things did not work out because you couldn't grow with them. Spirit recognized that. Of course, it didn't work out for other reasons, but Spirit, the energies, the spiritual energies in your life are recognizing that you are somebody who needs someone else to grow with. Somebody who can kind of feed your, I don't want to say your intellectual well, because I feel like intellectual is kind of like a prestigious word, and I kind of want to jump away from that, but it feels like you need somebody who feeds into your curiosity. You need someone who feeds your curious soul, and it helps your heart grow. And I feel like for some of you, your heart maybe felt a little stagnant with maybe like some past relationships, or perhaps you were tormented by some of these people, or you tormented yourself because they weren't good matches. But it just feels like, I don't know. I just feel like what needs to be focused on now, and this is one of the cards that popped up first before my prayer, but I didn't take it because I didn't pray yet. But I knew that it would come out if it's necessary. The Three of Cups and the Six of Wands. You have a choice to lead with gratitude, grace, and celebration. There's so much to celebrate about you. And moving forward in that abundance and joy. The Six of Wands is about taking the charge, moving forward. Literally, when I get the Six of Wands, I always feel popping up in my mind, and I feel this resonating strong and true, that Spirit will follow your lead. Spirit will follow your lead. So wherever you go, Spirit will follow, and then they will try to throw things into your path. It's almost like throw blessings into your path, but they're showing me it in the form of glitter. So glitter and shine, like they're just throwing a lot of glitter and shine in there, and they're trying to give more, bring abundance to your path, okay? Regardless of which direction you fly into, or like they're giving me the image of someone flying. So the Three of Cups is celebration. The Three of Cups is embracing that beautiful, loving gratitude and positivity, and just truly make sure that you're celebrating your successes this week. And it feels like you're taking charge with that positivity to help manifest something great. And this could be in the form of love, if that's the decision that's what you want to pursue right now. I feel like whether you're focused on career, whether you're focused on love, the main thing that should like get the most of your attention is how amazing you are, and how it's so important to feed that learning of yours. It seems like an insatiable, is that what I'm saying that right? Is that the right word I'm using? It's like a palate that can't be satisfied, of just never ending wanting to learn. I feel like this energy just feels like it wants to devour information. Like whoever I'm talking to loves to devour information. And you're just somebody who wants it all. Like you're going to create everything. With the Ten of Pentacles, this is your goal, is to create something that lasts, to create a legacy. This is an opportunity to step into, like, you're just a powerful co-creator. And this is something, if you want generational wealth, if you want the family, the house, the kids, if you want, even if you don't want that, if you want like a whole jungle of plants inside, or if you want to like have a nursery, like a plant nursery, if you want to go be a doctor, a lawyer, or blah, 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 like, whatever dream you want. And it might not be in the exact tangible way. Some of us don't have the resources to go off to school and to be a lawyer or a doctor, or go out. Some of us don't have, given like some of the things we want. Let's say you have like a lot of kids that you really prioritize spending time with, and you always wanted to be a doctor, but now you found, oh, now that I have kids, I don't really have the time for that. It's definitely doable. It's definitely been done, but because you want to spend time with your kids, people would be like, okay, well, I don't want it. But you can still channel that healing in so many other ways. You can be a doctor in another sense. You can be not quite like the scientific doctor that you want to be, but there are other things that you can, like, what is the base of that? Why do you want that particular title? A title is just to channel whatever your gifts and skill sets are to the world. So if you can find something else to channel that purpose or that passion into, that is equally just as good or amazing in Spirit's eyes. And so long as it's something that fills up your soul and that fills up your heart. I think that people can have many loves of their life. It's just the people who have very set passions, who say, I know what I came here to do, they're usually given the resources to do it. And in some way, not always, but if this is something for you, whatever your heart is set on, or whatever it is that you want to do, it's usually a decision that we make. It's a decision in the mind, it's a decision in the heart. Whatever it is for you, it's the Hermit and the Eight of Pentacles that's coming up. Something that you can cultivate in solitude, you can work in solitude over. This is something that you have to steadily work over in time, like work with again and again, like in time, in order to cultivate. But whatever this is, like, you are willing to put in the work. I see you willing to, then you'll get there. I just heard Spirit say you'll get there. So definitely embrace that side, Sagittarius. Don't pay attention to any of this other energy that's trying to come in. And again, I wouldn't say don't pay attention to it, but I mean, meditate on it and work through it if that calls to you. But ultimately, I would be focusing on the positive and like what okay, I just heard what draws me to you. So like if you want to manifest the lover, like the love of your life or whatever, if you want to manifest that dream job, if you want to manifest like other amazing things, like, and it's like kind of like the law of attraction is kind of what they're saying from that. Like, how will you draw me in? How are you living if you already achieved these things? And then live as if you've already have them and think like you already have them. Because when you're not only putting in your work, but you're having the attitude that you can be successful with it. And it's usually like, I said this in another reading, but luck is the byproduct of busting your fanny, is what I read off of a fortune cookie many, many moons ago. And it still sticks with me to this day. It still travels with me in my lanyard because I am like a workaholic. And sometimes like I take that out and I'm reminded of, you know, again, balance is a myth. And I know that I need more balance and I need to not work as hard. But I found myself being so lucky and filled with joy and filled with so much abundance because I worked hard. And again, you don't have to bust your fanny to get everywhere and achieve that abundance. That's just one way of going about it. I'm not gonna sit here and like promote hustle culture and say it's the only way to succeed, but I'm also not gonna sit here and like shame hustle culture either. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know if I said two negatives or like a pro and a con, or like, I don't know. But either way, I'm not saying one thing or the other. I think that you can relax and chill and still be successful. And that works. That's okay too. So long as you're living in your joy and abundance. Let's see what else we have. I'm going to pull the book off of this one. It says Netcaster, preparations come to fruition. Something you've been working towards is manifesting and it feels amazing. I'm going to read the book for this one. 42, Netcaster. Preparation come to fruition, a surprise, a result beyond expectations. The netcaster arrives to tell you to stop praying for the fish. They have arrived and it's time for you to cast your net, lest they swim away. Everything that you long for is within reach. But it has been so long since your prayers were answered that you have forgotten how to receive what is being offered to you. Put down the prayer beads and open your arms and your heart to rewards beyond measure. Cast your net. Take the next step that you have been planning for so long. Remember that the fish wait for no one, so time is of the essence. Heaven and earth are in perfect alignment for your victory. The stars are positioned for success. The only one who can spoil the perfection of the moment is you. If you ask, do I really deserve this? You will sabotage the magic and shatter the crystalline flawlessness of the now. The netcaster can also arrive to bring you bad news, to tell you that you have been snared in someone's trap and must wriggle free. Right now it feels comfortable enough, even as the net begins to tighten around you. Do not wait until it's suffocating you before realizing you must escape and run for your life. It is still early enough to exit gracefully. So my ear is like ringing very uncomfortably. I don't think that paragraph is the right message for this one. I read it anyway just in case, but I'm getting like a like it feels weird and off balance. Like it feels off key, if that makes sense. Bide your time until all the conditions are right. Go to your place of stillness, of deep quiet, and watch for the signs that a new opportunity has arrived. Right now, you are patient because you feel that things will go your way. Learn to be patient with the people and situations that are more challenging. Okay, so I'm going to let that be a message in itself. And then I'm also going to pull from Angels and Ancestors Oracle by Kyle Gray. And then we'll see what messages come up with this deck. For our Sagittarius. Whoa. Okay, that was a lot. But you know what? I'll read it all. Whatever. Like, my deck just exploded. I was only going to take one, but 4 of them came out. So obviously I'm not going to read the book on all of these. But we have... Stargazer, set your sights higher. You need to elevate your way of thinking. You need to elevate your way of being if you really want the success that you're dreaming of to be achieved. So for some of us, it might not be fully aligned. We might think that, okay, so let's say if you want like, I'm going to use the most classic example of abundance. Abundance does not equate to money, but we're just using it as an example. Let's say you want to make a lot of money, but you don't actually put in a lot of the effort for it. It's like, okay, well, I think I'm going to just, I don't know, sell leaf propagations or something. It's like, okay, you could do that for only so long from like 6 different pots. But dream bigger, dream further, dream more. Go further. You are capable of so much more. It's not so much as I'm capable of more work, but really, what do you see yourself doing? Especially if you want, like the key to your manifestations will be actually making practical steps to get there, but also Some of it, I'm hearing the words ditch practicality, like ditch like whatever like you're thinking of, because it feels like you can achieve more for, I feel like for some of you achieving more for something less, but I feel like for some of you, like maybe you're not being totally practical about how you're going to get to where you want to go. Focus on what really matters and let spirit lift you up and take you higher. I'm not sure if that really makes sense for anyone. That's just kind of how it's coming across to me. But it's almost like you are capable of a lot more, and you are capable of reaching great heights. So remind yourself of your value and move forward from there. You have dream and journey with drum. So again, you had meditate, you had the 4 of Swords earlier. So I do feel like this still rings true for basically all facets. I mean, if this isn't related to career, love, whatever the case may be, really just dream where you want to be, so that way you can get clear about where you want to end up. Listening, this also is a call to listen to like maybe a backdrop on YouTube or something of like drums, or if you have a drum CD lying around. I'm not really sure why you would, unless you're into shamanic meditations, because that's using the shamanic drums and following that flow is my throat chakra is a little blocked as I try to say that, so that might not be a message related to some of you, but if some of you are into shamanic journeying, they use shamanic drums for that. I feel like this is just a pretty standard meditation. If you can use drums to keep to like a steady beat, some like the drums guide you through meditation. So if you wanted to learn how to go through shamanic journey and do some research on that, that feels like that could be like, you know, I could be reaching like some of the right crowd for that. If that's something you wanted to try, that feels like something that's coming through. But really just, it is connecting with your intuition and sitting on it, because you, oh wow, you have Oracle. Wait for important information. Dang, some of you can reach this information through meditation. Some of you, it will pop up in your daily life. I feel like not only is this a combination of intuitive insights through meditation, this is a combination of receiving information through meditation and also interwoven in your daily activities. And make sure that you're being aware of the signs. For whatever reason, I'm seeing like the color red on this card, but I'm seeing it popping up and weaving into your life. So whatever these intuitions are, I'm not going to say they're red flags, but they're going to be as strong as red flags. So they're not like, you know, red flags aren't like, you know, oh, like that's something I have to watch out for. They're going to be like in your face, as bright as scarlet red, you know, in ways that you wouldn't even think to look for them, like different signs that like maybe somebody else got, maybe somebody else felt the need to say a sentence a particular way, using a particular sentence format or using specific words that maybe you haven't heard in a very long time, or maybe there was one word that was just so odd that you haven't heard it in years, and maybe you said that word earlier that day and all of a sudden somebody just says it in a sentence. I'm sorry, it took me a while to get to that, but they were giving me like sentence structure for a reason. Some of you could be wordsmiths. I don't know. Again, with the whole book thing, I feel like some of you really speak with words, or speak, like understand the language of words, and the different symbolism that can come through with that. But that could be something that's just like, that could be one way you receive your signs, is through conversation or through spoken word, or as you're taking a walk and you see like a car driving down the street and you notice a license plate on the back. And if it's written in a particular way that strikes you as like intuitively you feel in every cell in your body, oh snap, that's a message, that's a sign. And I know that was for me. Like, you know, holler at your spirit team, thank them with gratitude. You also have trader, exchange energy to create abundance. So again, what you put in is what you get out. So I'm getting like a little bit of like harsh energy here of feeling like you're not putting in enough, and maybe like I just heard someone calling themselves a weakling. And it almost feels like if you're somebody who doesn't believe that they can put forth the kind of effort required, I feel like it's a mood. I just heard it's a big mood. I just heard big mood. I feel like that's honestly just take it baby steps, one step at a time. That's sometimes the only way you can achieve really big goals, is if you take really small steps. and just focusing on the present moment, the here and the now. That way you're not focused on the enlarged goal and getting overwhelmed with how much you feel like you can't do it. Because ultimately, do you think that, okay, I hate to use Agatha Christie because I don't actually know how many novels she wrote, or Stephen King. We'll use Stephen King because I know he's a prolific author. I know he wrote like a ton of books. So do you think that if, you know, Stephen King, before he ever wrote anything in his life, looked and said, I'm going to write over 60 some titles or 50, like I don't know how many books he wrote. I'm sorry, don't at me. If you know, go ahead and leave a comment. But if he wrote like all of the books that he's written, if he approached his writing career like, I'm going to write this number of books, I don't think he ever would have. I mean, it's very easy for a person to look at that and get really scared. Like, it's very easy to vanquish yourself with broad things like that. So, and this is interesting because I did say earlier that you need to set your sights higher. You are capable of a lot more, so don't be afraid to dream big. But at the same time, don't let yourself get overwhelmed with all of the steps in between of stuff you have to do. So again, the practical steps have to be there, but don't become so drowned in it that you can't like see the success or the journey, because it's all the journey. It's not a destination. By the time we reach our destination, like, it's not a destination, like, we're dead. Like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's a lifelong process of getting through our journey. The journey is life. But that being said, it's just whatever you put in is what you get out of it. So I always like to pull a card or assign a deck specifically for the new moon. You have share. The busy bee should still make time for each flower. So even though we could say we're busy all we want, or you can have so much that you're doing right now, but whatever it is that you're doing, like, I feel like just sharing it with other people, sharing like your mentality or sharing your views with other people, that's going to help. Like, sharing your ideas I just saw like a key. They just sent me a very vivid image. Sorry, I'm jumbling up on my words because I'm excited. They're showing me the image of this silver key going into the store and opening up this door and just seeing so much garden, so much abundance. That's going to be your key. Sharing your knowledge, your wisdom, I just heard your jokes. For some of you, you could be like witty and like with your words and like be comedians. Sharing what's inside, or sharing your knowledge, sharing your wisdom, even sharing what you're doing and like getting clear on how you're doing things. That in itself is enough to inspire people, to bring light to them, and it unlocks your own abundance as well. Like, you're adding light to people's world, and the divine adds light to yours. That's just how it works, you know? Like, you might not feel that. You might not feel it if you are indulging your energies into the, like, kind of like, I guess what they would call energy vampires. Don't let that stop you from spreading your joy. Don't let past love relationships, past just any type of relationship that makes you feel drained, don't let that stop you from spreading your joy, because the right people will also fill you up, because they are so overfilled with what you have shared with them that you will feel abundant from not only their response, but like, it's just like the energy that they put out there. Like, you will feel seen, heard, and acknowledged. Those people exist. You just need to, for some of you, you're building a base and you're finding them. If you're like growing some type of online following, or if you're growing some type of following, if you're writing a book, I don't know, like, there could be a fandom already there. I mean, like, or even some type of, like, I don't know, it just feels like there's a whole lot of energy that can resound to your truth. If you share, put it out there, either on social media or a website, or if you go and speak it and you talk to people, like parties. I'm hearing for some of you, you could be, I just heard an indigenous crowd, so for some of you, it could be related to something like that. And there could be some sort of abilities related to those things. I don't know why, but like shamanism keeps popping through like a little bit more strongly now. So it could be just bringing spiritual practices to people and enlightening them on certain topics. It could be enlightening like people on just getting the image of space. I mean, it could be like a symbol for astrology too, just because I'm seeing the planets. but bringing like your positive and passionate energy of something with you. That's why people want to listen to you, because you'd be passionate about it, right? So that being said, Sagittarius, I'm going to roll the dice for you, and then I'll send you on your way. This is from the Angel Numbers book by Kyle Gray, 395. Let's see what we got. The universe needs you to surrender your concerns so that it can support you. Let go and let God. So again, you don't have to believe in like the Christian God or anything. This is whatever you connect with. Love, source, universe, whatever it is, etc. I'll say it one more time because I always say these messages twice. The universe needs you to surrender your concerns so that it can support you. Let go and let God. Surrender is one of the hardest things, guys. So you got it. I can tell, like, your curiosity knows no bounds, and sharing that and sharing your passion of love and learning with the world is going to help get you very far. So I love you, Sagittarius. That is your reading. Thank you for allowing me to channel, and thank you to your spirit team and my spirit team. The angelic presences in this message is actually a little bit overwhelming. I'm so appreciative that they spoke very clearly and allowed me to channel this message to you. So I love you, I love you, I love you. Again, if this resonated, go ahead and like and subscribe and all that stuff. Leave a comment. Let me know how it resonated with you. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.